people very well, and we will. You people are going to have to travel because you'll be in Singapore on June 12th.
Some economists are now sounding alarm bells after the president tweeted about the latest jobs report before it was released.
7:21 Friday morning, President Trump tweeted, looking forward to seeing the employment numbers at 8:30 this morning. Some economists and former government officials questioning whether he violated a Labor Department rule barring executive branch employees from publicly commenting on the report at least 1 hour after its official release. National Economic Council Larry Kudlow on briefing the president ahead of time.
And I make a call whether to let him know or not. And it just so happens last evening, I let him know.
Employers added 223,000 jobs last month, and the unemployment rate went to 3.8%. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
The same day as new steel and aluminum tariffs begin to go into effect, the European Union Trade Commissioner Cecilia Malmström is condemning the move.
The U.S. is playing a dangerous game here.
Malmström says the situation is worrying but wouldn't call it a trade war yet. After days of searching, police have captured a suspected cop killer in Tennessee.
He observed a subject that was on near the wood line, and he got out to approach this individual. And as he approached this individual, he noticed that he had tattoos, and he met the overall description of the gentleman that we've been looking for.
Officials say when they arrested Stephen Wiggins, they put him in the slain trooper's handcuffs. Wiggins is accused of killing trooper Kevin Birch during a traffic stop. This is ABC News.
Every home is unique. That's why I, the Orkin Man, rely on science.
Come on in. Honey, will you turn that off?
Wow. Tent in the family room?
Yep. This little lady's trying to earn her Calico camper badge, but we can't go outside.
Mosquitoes?
Yeah, they have us stuck indoors.
Well, if you want to take this camp back outside, I can use the latest science from our entomologist to help protect your yard from mosquitoes.
But do you get a badge for that?
Yep, this red one right here. Orkin. Pest control down to a science. Visit Orkin.com for a free estimate.
Your yard is not just a yard. It's a baseball diamond, a water park, a movie theater, and a grand banquet hall. Your yard is where memories are made, and you have the best seat in the house with the John Deere X350 Select Series tractor. Now equipped with the exclusive one-touch mulch control system, you can tell your clippings where to go, out the chute, or back into your lawn with just the push of a button. Nothing runs like family, and nothing runs like a Deere. Visit your local John Deere dealer to test drive one today.
Want to lower your rate and payments, get rid of mortgage insurance, or get cash out? Find out about your best refinance options by tuning into the Get Mortgage Fit radio show with Alex Michaels and Carrie Kasem, Monday mornings from 10 to 11, where you'll learn everything you need to know about mortgage loans, today's rates, FHA, VA, and more. Call the Get Mortgage Fit show Monday mornings from 10 to 11 on WSBR at 800-827-RATE, 800-827-RATE, or visit them online at newamericanfunding.com, NMLS 6606.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Sole Authority today, 954-597-7060.
Keeping our eye on your piece of the pie. South Florida's Money Talk Radio, WSBR.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Seibel. I'm excited to announce my new show called Ask Robert, which will be on Fridays from 3 to 4 p.m. I'm an attorney and public speaker. I began my career in Wall Street and formed my own law firm over 30 years ago in New York and Florida. I've specialized in tax planning for celebrities and high-income individuals, as well as representing corporate and international business transactions. I am currently associated with a global commercial real estate and business financial company. On my show, we'll be covering stock market wrap-up for the week, as well as mortgage financing, investing, real estate, insurance law, and other general subjects of interest to you with my very fascinating guests. I also plan to have a special Ladies' Day 1 week a month to cover issues of greater interest to women, such as divorce, social, and financial matters, with very special female guests. Now, let's on with the show.
She's amazing.
Put on.
Why is this not?
Okay, hello. Welcome to the show. Robert Seibel here on Ask Robert, the Women's Prophet. Welcome to the show. I think we have a great show planned for you today. And first of all, I wanted to mention to you that the market has been kind of all over the place in the last 2 weeks. We had some scares last week. Again, talk about raising tariffs. President Trump just came out and announced possible new tariffs on German automobiles. He may even ban them, luxury cars. Although the market seems to be doing all right today. We're up a couple hundred points. The S&P is over 2,700, and the Dow is up over a couple hundred points today. Treasury, 10-year Treasury is about 2.9, and all in all, oil prices are down to around 67 a barrel, and from what I gather, the market is reasonably good. I expect to be hearing momentarily from my first guest, who is Bruce Galloway. He'll be calling in very shortly and giving us an update stock market report. My other guest today I'll be introducing to you very shortly is Becca T-Bone. And Becca is a health and nutrition and fitness expert, and the bulk of the hour will be spent with her. She's right here in the studio with me, and I think we're going to have a great show. Okay, we have Bruce on the line. Okay, Bruce, how are you? Bruce Galloway. Bruce is the head of Galloway Capital. Bruce has been in Wall Street for over 30 years. He's been on my show several times before. Bruce has done many, many television shows. And Bruce, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hey, Bob. How are you?
Okay,
Good.
Just speak up, Bruce. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so give me an update. What's going on in the market this week?
Well, it was another up and down week. It's another roller coaster week. Up 300, down 300, up 200, down 200 points in the Dow Jones. And again, it's a big, big trading market. It's driven by international news. It's been driven by mostly this week Italy. Italy is the big topic this week. Italian bond rates on the 10-year yield has gone from 30 basis points to 260 and then back down to 120. So when 10-year bonds go from 30 basis points to 260, that means that the principal value of the bonds drop precipitously. And the European banks all hold a lot of Italian bonds. Italy, believe it or not, is the 6th largest economy in the world, you know, next to the likes of the U.S., China, Japan, and Germany. And, you know, it was very shaky when the bond rates moved up. The stock markets tanked throughout the world and Europe and Asia. And then when they rebounded, you know, the stock markets rebounded also. The other big news, in the markets this week is the tariffs. You know, the tariffs have been an ongoing issue with regard to President Trump. No one wants a trade war, but, you know, we are in a very precarious situation because we have a $600 billion trade deficit with the world, and the world has been taking advantage of the breadbasket of the world, the United States. We've been basically fueling the strength of the economies throughout the entire world by basically subsidizing them with this huge trade deficit that we have, which basically takes hundreds of billions of dollars out of America and puts it into the likes of Germany, Japan, South Korea, developing nations such as India, Pakistan, South America, etc. So, you know, Trump is trying to narrow the gap a little bit, but a lot of the world doesn't like it because they're used to having their cake and eat it too. So, obviously, countries like Canada and Germany and the EU and China, you know, they've come back with you know, countermeasures to force tariffs on the United States. So, you know, there is a prevailing trade war that's on the minds of people, and, you know, no one wants a trade war. So basically, that's the big news, you know, this week for the markets.
I see. And you see anything like in the coming week or two? Anything that, looks on the horizon? Trump announced this possible ban on German cars. Is that going to cause any scare? I see that those car makers, BMW and Mercedes, they already took a hit. They lost like $20 billion in stock market value in the last day or two. Is that anything we have to worry about?
Again, like we buy 1.5 million cars a year from Germany.
Yep.
I mean, they buy nothing from us,
Yep.
zero from us.
Yep.
I mean, the bigger culprit than Germany is Japan. I mean,
Uh-huh.
Japan's three big nameplates, Toyota, Nissan, and Honda, they sell 5 million cars a year into the United States.
Uh-huh.
They buy nothing from us.
Right.
So this is a typical indication of the imbalance. Will he impose a 25% tariff on BMW and Daimler-Benz and et cetera? I don't think so. What he'll probably push for is the Germans to buy more American products and more American cars, more American steels, more American trucks, things like that. So I don't think he'll go that far to impose, tariffs, because we're not a tariff country. We believe in free trade. We believe in open borders, but people don't play fair with us. And the World Trade Organization is lopsided because it favors developing nations and underdeveloped nations over developed nations. So we're always getting the short end of the stick. But Germany and Japan and Korea, they're developed nations also, and so is China. China is a developed nation. It's not an underdeveloped nation. So China should have the same trade rules with the WTO that we do, but they don't. They're still considered a developing nation, even though they have a GDP as big as us and they're as developed as us.
Right. Bruce, let me ask you about oil prices. I've heard conflicting opinions about oil prices. One fellow told me, well, as oil prices go down, it's good for the consumer. It means that gas prices will be lower this summer, and it'll, maybe hopefully spur travel and the economy. On the other hand, I've heard that if oil prices go down, that will negatively affect the S&P because energy companies will, of course, be making less money. What is your call on oil prices?
Well, you would think by logic lower oil prices is good for the consumer and good for the economy. But on the flip side, the S&P weighting of energy stocks is about 25%.
Right.
So as oil prices go up, usually the stock market goes up. You could look at the correlation between the stock market and oil prices. They move together 95% of the time. So when oil prices go up, oil companies and energy companies spend a lot more money, and that's a big stimulus to the economy.
Right.
Our economy in the last 10 years, believe it or not, has been an energy economy. Okay, our oil production has gone from 7 million barrels a day to 12 million barrels a day in the last 10 years. We've increased our oil and oil liquids and gas liquids production 5 million barrels a day just in the last 10 years.
Right.
That has entailed trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of CapEx. And that CapEx has gone into the economy and stimulated the economy and helped the United States economy. And that's one of the reasons why we have become an economic powerhouse and why we're growing at 3% a year.
Right.
The energy economy is really leading that growth. I mean, you go down to Texas, you go down to the Permian Basin. The Permian Basin 5 years ago was producing 600 to 700,000 barrels a day of oil.
Right.
Today it's producing 3.8 million barrels a day.
Wow. Amazing.
North Dakota 10 years ago was producing zero oil. Today it's producing over 1 million barrels a day.
Right. So we're becoming an exporter of oil after all these years and years.
Well, we're not really an exporter.
No?
That's a misnomer. Because the United States still uses 18 million barrels a day of oil equivalent.
I see.
Okay, and we're only producing 12.
Right.
So we're still
I got you.
importing a lot of crude oil from Saudi Arabia and even Venezuela and Mexico. That's a misnomer. We are exporting a lot of finished products. Like we have a surplus of gas liquids. We're exporting that. We're probably exporting about 2 million barrels a day of gas liquids.
Right.
But we're still a net importer. That's a misnomer.
I see. Okay, let me ask you a final question, then we're going to wrap up. And totally unrelated from oil. Marijuana now is just exploding, of course, all over the country and going legal in most of the states, or certainly medically legal and soon to be recreational legal. July 1, Canada is set to legalize it throughout the entire country recreationally. It seems like we're back in the 30s all over again, and we're giving Canada, again, the same chance we gave them with alcohol to make a fortune before it went legal in the United States. They're doing the same thing all over again with marijuana. They have the leading companies. Canopy Growth just got listed on the big board the other day. It's up to $30 a share. I'm happy to say that I bought it when it was like $5 a share about a year and a half ago. And what's your call on marijuana stocks in general? Is it a good investment for somebody, with a little bit of money to play with? Or would you?
No, I would stay away from it. I would stay away from it. I mean, it's very fragmented.
Right.
A lot of shaky and shady players.
So there's still a lot of gambling there. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the place where the individual should really focus on putting their money is video streaming. Video streaming,
right.
I think, is a revolutionary thing that's going on right now. All the traditional media players like Viacom and Fox and News Corp and even Disney are suffering right now.
Yeah.
And the video streaming companies are the ones like the Netflix of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, well, my show is going out, live right now on Facebook and YouTube.
I want to mention that I have a video streaming play that people should take a look at, which is also like a $4.5, $5 stock.
Yeah.
That's backed by a billionaire.
Really?
The billionaire is Robert Johnson. Bob Johnson.
Yeah,
he founded BET Networks. He sold BET Networks to Viacom for $3.3 billion.
Yep.
He has a new company called Robert L. Johnson Entertainment, RLJE is his symbol. And this is a video streaming over-the-top media company that's run by a winner. He's done it before. He's going to do it again.
Good. I'm gonna research that.
RLJE is the symbol.
RLJE. Great.
Yeah, so that's what I really like. I pushed Micron last time. It's up from 53 to 63.
Yeah.
RLJE is the recommendation.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. Bruce, I want to thank you so much. You're always very, very knowledgeable and completely give us a great picture of the market. Thank you again, and we'll be in touch with you shortly. All right.
Okay.
Have a great weekend.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bruce. Okay. Great. All right. So now let's get on to the main portion of our show. I'm going to welcome my beautiful and intelligent guest, Becca Tipon. Becca is a lifestyle content expert, speaker, author, and coach, and she's refining the landscape of sustainable, healthy living at the corporate level, as well as one-on-one or in groups globally. She's been on CNBC, NBC, Fox, sharing how to close the gaps on 50 personal archetype areas that embody people's health and happiness. Her soon-to-be-released book, Nourished, Fit, and Free, is the ultimate step-by-step guide to simplified health by freeing the mind, healing the body with food, and strengthening through 17-minute fitness routines. So with that said, let me welcome Becca. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having me today, Robert.
Great. Okay, so we've got a lot of ground to cover, and I want to just say one thing before we get started.
Sure.
I myself am a health and fitness, maybe not at Becca's level, not anywhere professional, but
don't judge me, Robert. Don't judge me. Never judge yourself, and don't judge yourself.
No, you look great. No. I'll let you judge me.
Are you surprised I'm 54?
But I want to just show the audience the number of periodicals that I get on a weekly basis. Health, it's called Healthy Aging. I get Health Nutrition Letter, Health After 50, all right? Natural Way to Health, Wellness Letter.
Holy cow.
Harvard Health Letter.
I think he reads more than I do.
Playlock Wellness Letter, okay? Natural Health Response, Natural Way to Health, Blaylock Wellness Report, okay?
Yeah, but Robert, you need to open them, otherwise they're not valuable.
I open them and I read them. Okay.
That's awesome. That's a lot.
So now, with that said,
I think he ranks me, you guys. But I spend about an hour a day.
I got to tell you, looking at
awesome.
you're a lot better shape than I'm. All right. Anyway, here
so
we
you
go.
want some of the secrets?
All right,
Should we get some of the secrets out? We'll
let's
get some
hope
secrets
so.
out.
Let's hope.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start off. Tell us, Becca, how did you get to where you are today? Give me a little bit of your background. I know you were sickly at birth, and give me a little bit of your background.
Well, if Robert, if you would have asked me if I would be doing this 10 years ago, absolutely not. I did start speaking, and I started a website way back in the day called Mom's Green World. Just put out content to help people feel better, look better, and understand the toxins that are out there, because this is when a lot of the whitewashing was going along, and companies were putting out cleaner products. Well, to make a long story short, yes, I was born with pulmonary, digestive, and skeletal problems. So I have degenerative disc disease in my spine. And I had an amazing chiropractor when I was 7 years old. And he told my parents that I needed to really get a strong core in order to sustain for the long time. So I had crazy pain from the time I was 4 years old to the time I was 44 years old. But in between that, also dealing with pulmonary and digestive. So back in the day, my dad was like the best pharmacist, so you can imagine I had the best pharmaceuticals. When I went to college, I decided to take things into my own hands, and I got a job at GNC to learn about herbs and essential oils and supplementation and living lifestyle food. And I just completely changed my own health. I got off all my meds, and that was kind of what I did for myself. And God so made it so that in 2009, when I went for a major transformation, I went from owning advertising and marketing agencies to creating a sustainable lifestyle for other people and teaching other people how to live easier, healthier, and happier. Yeah, so that's it.
Right. And how often or how long do you work out every day? You go to the gym, you work out at home. What is your routine?
So I was the biggest gym rat. I've done bodybuilding, and I hope to get back into bodybuilding. But you know what? I created a 17-minute workout, and people do it, and they're like, I can do this. And so that's the whole thing for you guys out there who, you don't have the hour and a half. Your biggest qualm is that you don't want to walk into a gym or you don't have the time. The 17-minute workout is perfect for you because you can do it with complete body workout. You don't even need any extra equipment. And it only takes 17 minutes. And I only propel that people do it 3 times in a row, take a break, and then go back and do 3 days. So you're basically working out for less than 2 hours a week. 2 hours.
And is this 17-minute workout, it's in the book that you've written, or it's?
It is a chapter in the book. Believe it or not, fitness is not the end-all, do-all. No, I absolutely love it, and it has sustained me, and it helps me mentally connect and emotionally withdraw from any of that other stuff. But it's not the do-all. It is our mental capacity. It is who we are and who we think we are. It's the reasons why we keep failing, why we're not going for the golden nugget, how we're not changing and shifting our habits. That's what I come in. So I'm really the healthy habit hacker.
Right. Now, I've always felt, and I was always told by people, fitness people, that the best exercise that one can do is pushing yourself away from the table. And the fact that 75% of your health is your diet, as opposed to, you could work out all day long and be on the bike for 2 to 3 hours, and before you'll lose a pound, you'll have to pedal all day. Whereas if you eat properly, that's going to have a lot to do with your weight control and your health, and that you are what you eat. How do you feel about that?
So easy to say that, right, you guys? So easy to say if you eat right, you'll have it all in control. But that's the hard part, and it's not about motivation, because you're probably motivated to look better and feel better. You want to be sexy in your body, right? But it's more than that. And the 2 areas that I have found that people have the hardest time, and where they put on and pack on the biggest calories, is at snack time and right before bed or in that late night. So if you concentrate on those 2 areas, I assure you, you're going to see your weight drop. Yes, of course, drop the sugar, drink more water, stay away from those refined, I call it crap, right? It's the crap. It's the carbonated, it's the refined, it's the artificial, and it's the processed. So if it's in a package, you're going to pack it on, right?
Right. What about brown bread? I read that that's not a good thing to eat. Is that?
So you know what? I like a high protein, like the Ezekiel bread. You know, everybody likes to have a sandwich, and you know, it's hard to get away from that. I was the biggest. Listen, I wasn't always this svelte. It's taken a while, and you know, I've never been like crazy out of shape, except for that one time when I was in college, and that freshman 15 turned into the freshman 25, and I packed it on in 3 months, 25 pounds in 3 months, and I didn't have any money, so you know. Back when I went to University of Florida, it's pretty warm. You know, you put on those little dolphin shorts in the 80s. Yeah. Those things must stretch with you. Well, the cold weather came, and I went to put on my jeans. I kid you not. I could not get my jeans over my knees. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I went to the store to go get some pants because it's cold, right? It's cold in University of Florida in Gainesville. And I ended up going to close to a size 14. All I could say is size 12 was tight. So I was pretty much heading to a size 14. I went, you know, 25 pounds in 3 months. It was pure soft love, right? It was that late night beer and all that. Anyway, so I decided if it took me 3 months to put it on, see, I made a decision. If it took me 3 months to put it on, how long will it take me to take it off? How long? 3 months, right? If it takes 3 months to put it on, it should take 3 months to take it off. So whatever I was ending up doing, I just reversed back to what I was doing before I started those bad habits. So I took a look at what I was doing. Well, of course, going out to all the fraternity parties and drinking like a slush, not so good. And then studying to the late night hours and then going for biscuits and gravy at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe not so good, right? And so... And I was on the track team, and I stopped being on the track team, so I decided to join a gym. And right away, I got picked up to be a fitness instructor, and I was really, really lucky. They paid for all of my instructing, my coaching, my AFA, my ACE certifications. They paid for everything because I didn't have any money, but they wanted me to teach there. And so it just began. So where I am now was really, it was predisposed. I just didn't know it was coming.
Now, I see you wearing that sand dollar necklace, which is beautiful and very impressive. What's the significance of that?
It's very significant. So this is actually my logo. The sand dollar is a logo. And when I saw the manifestation of a sand dollar, I thought, okay, that makes sense. I train on the beach. I teach, you know, a beach boot camp. But it went way more because I went to investigate what the actual meaning of a sand dollar is. And at the back of the sand dollar are the teeth. And so what I now have people do is inscribe the things that are no longer serving them, and we eat them away, we throw them away. And then on the front is, these are Swarovski crystals, right? So this begets the light that you want to shine in, the things that you want to bring into your life. And so people will write on the front of my sand dollars what they want in their life. So what we want to take away and what we're ready to receive.
So if one of our, or more of our viewers, listeners, wanted to get one for themselves, can you make arrangements? I mean, do you
they could buy it straight from my website.
Oh, you have them on your website.
Absolutely.
Terrific.
Absolutely. And so many people. I mean, I can't walk out my door. Thank you for noticing it. I'll walk into a bank, into a restaurant, into a networking event. Everybody always comments on my necklace.
Well, for many years I was a scuba diver, and of course I'm very familiar with starfish, and I mean, it's just lovely, and the way they've made it into a piece of jewelry, it's really very, very breathtakingly beautiful.
Thank you. It is really a pretty piece. It's freshwater crystals, Swarovski, freshwater pearls, Swarovski crystals, and it comes in different sizes.
Did they get the did they get the entire necklace from you? Is that on
the whole necklace, and I have rings too.
Fabulous. That's great. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you so much.
That's really nice.
Thank you.
So now, give me a little bit further. You mentioned that you're a coach. What sets you apart from other coaches and trainers? What are you doing differently other than what you've said already? Anything else that you want to tell us?
Well, absolutely. I think everybody has their own niche and everybody has their own way of doing things. You know, there's 1,000 ways to do a tricep, and there's a million mile-high questions that a life coach can ask. But what I do and what I've created is a 12-week program. And in my 12-week program called the Nourish Makeover, this book, the Nourish Fit, and it's being renamed, the whole book cover is being redone. But this is pre-published, and you can actually get that from my website too. But it's now called Nourished, Fit, and Free. And the Nourish, Fit, and Free is a 12-week program, and this is not the actual manuscript inside there, but the 12-week program. And what I've created is now a 12-month program so that you can bit by bit, month by month, chunk down on the areas that have come up every time with my coaching clients. So I've created a whole system with exactly what to do. So you'll read through, the book is written in a workshop, in a workbook format. So you'll be able to take notes on it. And at the end of each chapter is a special do it now. So you put into life application what you've just taken out. And it's an exemplary process that has made morphs people's lives from where they were. And so many times the poor eating, the poor self-esteem, how we feel about ourselves. Listen, I coach very high-end CEOs. That does not separate them from somebody who is not banking. We all have this propensity and availability to not feel good about ourselves, and certainly not do enough for ourselves. So I call it, self-fullness. And in our society, we're told that if we do something for ourselves first, it's selfish. But you jump on an airplane, and what's the first thing they tell you to do, Robert?
Buckle your seatbelts.
And if there's an emergency in the air comes, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to put it on yourself and then your children. And I could never comprehend that I would take care of myself and then my children. But if you think about it, if your tank isn't full, how are you going to take care of other people? And what we do is so emulated by our children. When my 9-year-old, well, she's now 17, but when she was 9 years old, she was writing affirmations on her mirror. And I just watched her, and I had her read and asked her why she did it. And she said, because it made her feel good. And I thought, wow. And where'd she learn that? Yeah, of course. She learned it from mama. When they were babies, and anybody who's out there who's got young kids, it's never too young to start influencing and impacting the lives of your children. So I had them do affirmations when they were babies. I would turn on an audio tape. There were tapes back then, I guess, or CDs. I guess they were CDs, and they would repeat affirmations of what was said on the CD by this world-renowned meditator. And so my children have bought into knowing about their own selves, their high self-esteem, not braggalicious or anything. But it's really important that when we start with ourselves, what sets me apart, I help you to reignite and reset yourself. If you were to take a blank canvas and then start painting on it, now you've got a picture for yourself. But if you already have junk in the trunk, right? So I start with detoxes. We detox the mind, we detox the body, we detox our lymphatic system. We connect with, I didn't bring my sticky notes, but I'm a big sticky note lover. And so my clients every morning will write an affirmation or their manifestation, their intention of what they need to do for themselves so that they can come out and be better. So if you're out there and you're listening to this, grab your sticky note and write down the #1 thing that you need to do that you're not doing for yourself, and stick it right on your phone so that when you wake up in the morning, it's the first thing that you see.
By the way, I want to, just something that you mentioned earlier, talk about being on a plane and oxygen drops down. I love when they say to you, the mask is going to drop down and breathe normally. I fly a lot all over the world. And I remember being on a flight where we did an emergency dive, out of nowhere, and these masks dropped down. And when you're driving, when you're flying and you drop down 5,000 feet in 30 seconds or whatever it may be, it's pretty tough to breathe normally.
Right.
But I love that statement. Right. In any case.
No, you know what? And I was on a plane too, but it is very true, and it's actually the opposite of what you want to intend to. When things get crazy and you stay in that game of craziness, well, what's going to happen? Nothing. So I immediately, if I'm feeling burdened, overstressed, and I have too many things to do and too short of a time, I don't know, anybody out there relate to that? I absolutely stop and do nothing. I'll take some breaths. I'll go outside. I'll walk my dog. I'll do some sit-ups or my 17-minute workout. I'll take myself away from the situation. And then I just organize the most important thing that I need to attend to, because otherwise
I like that.
You can't accomplish anything. I've been there, done that too, right? Sure. You can only teach what you've learned.
Indeed.
Indeed.
So how much exercise does the average person need on a daily or weekly basis?
You know what?
Because you hear all kinds of advice.
If you take it as 17 minutes, and I say to people, give yourself the half hour, because you want to manifest, you want to meditate, you want to breathe, you want to relax. So you start in, you get your workout in, and then you stretch, you feel good. You pick up a card. I do affirmation cards. Robert, you were like, what are you giving me here?
Yeah.
But I do these with all of my clients, whether I coach them in New Zealand, or I coach them in Canada, or they come to one of my personal inline coaching programs. I always pick a card, and you ask me, like, how do I pick a card? Like, you guys right now, you would tell me which color you wanted and where it was located, and I would get the card for you, and that would be, and we would read one of your cards. And so it's really important to, like, just slow down, get into your own word, and not into the outside noises, as we're hearing a train come by, not into the outside noises that can so infiltrate us. So detoxing your mind, detoxing your body. I have an amazing program called the Celebrity Detox that started with one of my retreats called Detox to Destiny. There will be another one coming up in November. But a couple of people couldn't come to the retreat. And so, you know, there's always good out of not good. And instead of saying, sorry, you know, you couldn't make it, I decided to send them all of the stuff, all the herbs, the book, and I had all the juices, 18 juices sent to them. So it's 3 days of juicing. It's an 11-day program surrounded by food and supplementation. We clean out the parasites, we clean out the mucus, we get rid of that sugar, that crazy sugar desire. I've been there too, and I get there, and I just, you know what I do? When I start seeing it happen, I stop. Like, if you start a habit that's not working for you, you have to acknowledge it and say, enough, done. And then go back to, you know, step back, what was really working for you? So it's not like I never eat chocolate cookies, and it's not that I never have cake or a hoagie. Occasionally, you know, some fried chicken or fried fish. There's some people who say never, never, never. Like, good. That's not me. I help you take bite-sized, literally bite-sized pieces into making it healthier and easier. So you're not deprived, you're not feeling depleted. When people do that and they drop in their calories for long periods of time, you shock your system, you slow down your metabolism, and then guess what? You can't sustain that. And so what happens? You start eating, and your body says, whoa, surcharge, and it just goes on the hips, right? From the lips to the hips. So it's about taking those steps, doing them in a baby step manner, and not being in a deprived way. But the number one thing you need to do is retrain the brain and get rid of the gunk that's in your gut.
Very interesting, very interesting. Some of the things you say start reminding me of Tony Robbins. Because you're obviously much more than just somebody who's into nutrition and fitness. You really are like a life coach, and I was perusing through your book. There's a lot of material in there that has to do with way more than just exercising or diet. It's like you keep saying, your mindset and how do you approach, you know, your day-to-day life, which to me is very important, I guess.
It's so important. And actually, before you even get into the food, you know, fitness, I said in the 12 weeks is only one chapter. There's 4 chapters dedicated to food. The rest is about mindset. And one of my chapters is on gratification, like living the attitude of gratitude, right? And with that changed my world. When I was at my rock bottom, Robert, in 2009, my former spouse sent me an email that he wanted a divorce. And then 6 weeks later, my dad died out of medical complications. And 6 weeks after that, the very last day of 2009, I went out with a bang. Like, literally, I got sideswiped by a car while I was riding my bike going 21 miles an hour training for the MS-150. So my helmet cracked, my head hit the ground. My arms were, I couldn't even use my arms. I couldn't brush my teeth. And they said it would be 10 months before I would be, you know, back to training. So what made me able to be back in the course and training other people in 6 weeks? 6 weeks. And I wasn't fully recovered, but I was back training people with 1 pound weights instead of 20 pound weights, but I was using 1 pound weights. So what was it? It had to be mindset. And of course I put together an amazing team. And I put together my physical therapy of, you know, Aquafit, doing resistant bands, having neuromuscular massage. It was painful, it was crazy, and it was intense, 18 hours a week. right? But that's what you do. Like when you have a business or something that you want to get done, when you want to have a party, you figure out exactly what you need to do to have this amazing party. So you reverse process, right? What you need to get done. It's the same exact thing, you guys. If you want to look better, feel better, be your best version of yourself, you have to decide who you want to be. I can't say that I was who I wanted to be back then either. So I took some time to figure out, and I studied people. I probably would have studied you if I knew you. Robert's an amazing guy. I studied people who had great relationships. I really did. I studied my girlfriends, and I would ask them a million questions about their amazing relationships. I studied relationships. I read about relationships because I knew when I was ready to have another relationship, I was going to have like the best relationship, and I was going to be the best partner that I could be, right? So that's how I attack any area that I'm going to be involved in. And that's exactly what you need to do if you want to lose weight. It's not about going on a diet. Listen, what works for your girlfriend is not going to work for you. We are all bio-individual. There's certain properties, strategies, and principles that are, universal. And those are in my book. But there's certain things that are also bio-individual. And where you live, your heritage, your height, your sedentary or active lifestyle, what you actually like to eat. Like, we have to take all these things into consideration. If I gave you exactly what I ate, you might say no. But if I gave you what works for you and replaced, right? We don't say don't eat this, but we replace things that don't work for you. Well, now it's not about deprivation. It's about, oh, yum. And by the way, I don't eat bark off of trees. I eat a really full menu. I eat a lot. I am what I call a plant-based flexitarian.
What do you think of red meat? Do you eat red meat?
I don't eat red meat.
I don't either.
No, I don't eat red meat. My girls like red meat. And so, again, no judgment on what you like or what you don't like. But I did eat red meat. I just stopped eating red meat. God, even just saying that. I stopped really eating red meat about 10 months ago. But for 7 years, I was a vegan.
I haven't eaten red meat in 20 years.
So
20 years.
When I told you I was reversing and trying to figure out food, so we eliminate, and we eliminate people too, you guys. It's people, places, things, and thoughts. Those are the 4 things that eat at you, and those are the 4 things that will add waste to your being and waste to your waste, right?
Say that again,
People, places, things, and thoughts.
Things and thoughts. I like that.
People, places, things, and thoughts. It's my noun series. It's the nouns that will get at you. So what eats at you isn't necessarily just what you're eating. But Robert, you brought up a really great point, and you talked about people who just work out crazy. I get a lot of people who are like, Becca, I work out 20 hours a week, right? Maybe not 20, but you know what I'm saying. They work out every day, sometimes 2 times a day, or an hour and a half. They're in the cardio. They're on the treadmill for a long time. Listen, if you're on the treadmill, you are treading in the wrong direction. At least this coach says that. And I have been able to reverse and increase people's metabolic syndrome. If you have a low metabolism, then it's not necessarily because of your thyroid. A lot of doctors, and listen, if you're a doctor out there, love ya, work with doctors. I work with doctors. So if you're working with a doctor, if you're on meds for diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure, I'll work with you to help you hopefully get off them. For sure, diabetes. And my track record for getting people off of diabetes, I'm really excited about it. It's because it's less than 45 days.
Really?
If you're on diabetic meds, I'll have you off between 30 to 45 days.
Fantastic.
And I'll bank it. I'll give you 100% of your money back if you're not. I bank all of my programs. So all of my programs, even the 12-week program, Nourish Makeover, is 100% money back guarantee.
All right. Now, I heard you mention something, I think, earlier, called a plant-based flexitarian.
Yeah.
What is that?
I'm flexitarian. No, flexitarian means you're flexible. It just means that you're in a no judgment. I listen to my body. So before I was here, I had a can of tuna with a massive salad. I had some berries in there. I made myself a ginger dressing. I don't use too much of the over-the-counter dressings. There's crazy stuff in there. And so you'll pack on, you'll be eating this really, nice, healthy salad. And then you'll take the dressings. And I don't know about you, but if you read the back of it, it says 2 tablespoons. I like more than 2 tablespoons of dressing on my salads. And of course, sometimes, your lemon, your vinegars, that's awesome. But if that works for you, that's great. But I like a creamy, rich dressing. So I'll make it with avocados. So I'll take a half an avocado, or at least a quarter of an avocado. I'll take my apple cider vinegar that has mother in it. And Bragg's is one of my favorite, and they're not paying me to say this, but they probably should.
Bragg.
And I'll take some coconut oil in there, some seasonings, some champagne vinegar as well, and some grapeseed oil and some water. So I make this all myself. Yes, it's high fat, but it's amazing. What happens when you have high fat? So many people, Robert, are afraid of having fat. They're afraid of carbohydrates. They think
that's all we hear
protein,
about.
protein, protein. Eat vegetables, eat fruits. Well, yes, eat fruits and vegetables, but have fat, because otherwise you're going to be hungry in like another hour and a half. And I do eat small amounts several times a day. Some of us don't have the time in our days to do that. But pre-packaging your food, being prepared, there's a whole section in here about how to get your kitchen organized. There's a whole section in here about how to get your food organized. And it takes less than an hour and a half a week. So I prepare all of my food in less than an hour and a half.
How do you feel about vitamins and supplements? Do you take them?
I do. I feel good about them. I think they're
Which
working
vitamins
for me.
and supplements do you like to take? Or do you recommend to take?
So again, that's kind of a bio-individual. I love to get a blood test to see what's going on inside people's factory. I call it your factory, right? So what's going on at the cellular level. But most times than not, if people are tired and they're on some thyroid medicine, I generally do a cleansing, and I don't want to say attack, but I don't attack the thyroid, but I reattach to the adrenal system. And so after we cleanse out the gut and the colon, then I go and I take care of the adrenal system. We do a liver and gallbladder cleanse, and so we get rid of that. When you get rid of the balls that are clogged up in your liver and your gallbladder, it's amazing what the bile will do and help to shift out and really flush out your fat.
Right. Do you believe
Your
it?
fat that's hanging.
Do you
So
believe-
yes, I believe.
Do you believe in fasting, maybe one day a week? Some people, I personally do that myself.
What's your fast look like?
What my fast looks like?
Is it
I
total
just-
fast?
I just drink water. I just drink water pretty much the whole day, and I try to not eat. And it's not easy sometimes, but I find that it does, sort of cleanse me out.
I fast once a week too, but mine's easy, and I don't drink water all day long. And if you want more about that, I think you should tune into me and sign up for a 10-minute complimentary consultation right off of my website.
Okay, I got a benefit already.
Yeah.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Now, by the way, getting back
all of
to
your people, they go right to, is a link, yeah, it's down there. You guys can go right on there and sign up for a complimentary
It's on the
consultation.
By the way, incidentally, I do want to mention before the show is over that the show can be seen on YouTube and Facebook live. Goes out. If you want to get on the show, watch the show on Facebook, all you've got to do is tune into Ask Robert Inc. or Ask Robert Radio. And on YouTube, if you dial into AMP, Alice Mary Peter 2 TV, AMP 2 TV, and then Ask Robert, you will get to the YouTube pages with the live show or the show on archives. You can look up last week's show, last month's show, and the beauty is you can watch it at any time. We're also on AM/FM radio. We're on AM 740 AM, which goes from Orlando to North Miami, and we're on 96.9 and 103.9 FM, which goes from Palm Beach all the way down to Miami. I hope soon, in the coming months, to possibly syndicate. The show will be syndicated maybe in the tri-state New York area. But in the meantime, on Facebook and YouTube, it does go out to various places all over the country and, in fact, even internationally. I got a call the other day from a friend of mine in Thailand, which I couldn't believe. He watched the show on YouTube. So I was very flattered to hear from him. Now, I got a couple more
Robert,
questions.
are we taking any calls?
Well, you know what? Do we have any callers on the line? Okay, let's take
I had a feeling we have a couple of callers.
The show is just running by. We got so much to say.
I put it on my
I wish
social
we were on
media.
for 2 hours today.
Yeah,
you're gonna be coming back. I know that. So who do we have on the air?
We've got Lynn.
Is he still on?
Yes, Lynn is on the air.
Go ahead. You want to put it through? Go ahead. Hello? I'm listening.
Hi.
Speak
Hi,
up.
This is Lynn. How are you?
Okay, what's your question?
I know my question for Becca, I know she has an amazing program, and I've seen some of her things on her website. I guess my question is, do you have group functions that might be a little bit less expensive for some people?
Do I have, I'm sorry, what?
Any group trainings that are available?
Group training, as opposed to individual, I guess.
Yes, I do. I actually have a group training. It goes in six-week increments. It's only $179, and there's workshops in there. We meet 3 times a week. Again, it's only 17 minutes, so it's a 30-minute workout. You're in, you're out, you're on your way. And we meet in East Boca. And I also do online, so for people who are not here, we can do them online as well.
So they can download you online, get to you online, and you do a course online?
I do it online, yes.
Okay. What about CDs? You have any CDs yet available?
Not yet.
But that's something maybe...
Probably something that's going to come up soon.
Yeah. I know. I happen to know a lady all the way up in Montreal, Canada, that does exactly that. She comes out with like a program every month, like a challenge program of exercises, and she does it with a 2-hour video. But I think that's in your future, probably.
I do monthly challenges at the corporate level with my corporate clients.
Great.
So we can definitely bring that to the retail level. And I'm starting to do lunch and learns here as well in South Florida. I have, I think, 9 partners brought on so far. So we're going to be doing lunch and learns.
Right.
I'm going to do the first one completely free. So look on my Facebook. You can connect on my Facebook at Becca T-Bon Fit, and you'll see the information there. And there's going to be over $150 worth of stuff that's going to be that people are going to be getting, and lunching. They'll get lunch brought to them, and we'll do workshops, and I'll offer my programs and services at highly reduced rates for the people that come to the workshops.
All right. Now, I understand, Becca, that you're involved with the STARS Foundation.
Yes.
And I had the creator of STARS on a couple of weeks ago, Candace Rojas and Linda Sussman. Tell us what your involvement is with STARS.
Yeah, so that was a really exciting thing, because as I was shifting from doing more online to bring it back to the grassroots, because this is what I really felt like was calling for me. My word for the year. Do you have a word for the year, by the way? I always have a word for the year. So my word this year is Ubuntu. It's UBUNTU. UBUNTO, right. And my buddy Hubert from the Bahamas, I did a lot of work in the Bahamas in the last few years. So I was kind of having like this low moment. I get a low moment too, right? And so I was having this low moment, and his thing popped up on Facebook, and I sent him a message, and I'm like, dude, like, I'm having a hard time. And he's like, well, come into my group, and we're gonna bring you in. And so he sent me a message, and at the end of it he wrote Ubuntu, and I'm like, dude, what's Ubuntu?
Yeah.
And he goes, Together We Rise.
Really?
And
what
so
language was that?
It's an African Sanskrit.
Ah, okay.
But what was interesting about that was I just started meditating on that word. Like, I felt the energy in it. And I was like, what am I going to do with my business moving forward? What can I do at the grassroots level? So 2 things happened. I came up with the Lunch and Learn series and a meditation, and I was like, okay, how does this work out? I talked to one of my friends. I told her what I was looking to do. She's like, we stand behind you. I talked to Raw Juice. I talked to Cycle Bar. I talked to Athleta, Ozo Bay, Salt Sweet. There's other people, and they all are, without even seeing anything.
Yeah.
They're like, Becca, if you're doing it, we want to be part of it. And I'm like, and so what's going to happen is, like, all the businesses, and if you have a business out there and you want to get involved in this, definitely connect with me via my website, and there's an easy way for you to just send me a note. But what's really great about this is Ubuntu is Together We Rise. So we're all going to be co-marketing each other. I'm going to move the Lunch and Learns to different locations. So each partner will actually get to have people come to their location, and they'll also be able to be represented in my marketing and in the goodie bags and all the things that I'm involved in. But to bring this back into STARS, so that's exactly what happened. Then Candace calls me, and she asked me if I would be interested in being one of the founding members for STARS. And if you know Candace, she's incredible, and she started telling me about her dream a year ago. And I told her whatever she needs, I'm behind her. Not about being a founding partner. You know, I'll be a right hand. I'll help market it. I'll pop it out on social media. I'll share it with people. I'll support it. She called me and she asked me if I would be a founding member, sit on the board. And I said, I've never sat on a board before. I really don't know what that means. And so she defined it. So my job is to perpetuate specific programs that are going to be brought to women who are in crisis, in health, in well-being, and in fitness. So I'm going to help round out programs. We're looking for grants. We're looking for sponsorship. We're looking for funding in this area. And so it is STARS Foundation, STARZ Foundation.org. And all this is all over my website, too.
Okay, a couple of quick other questions. Sure. Number one, if anybody wants to get a hold of you other than on your website, do you want to put out your email address or you just want to go through the website?
I'm not the best person on email. I would like to give you my phone number and you can text me, and it's 318 Becca 18. So it's 318-232-2218. 318-232-2218.
Right. And also the number here at the station is 888-721-0074. Again, 888-721-0074. If you can't get a hold of Becca, you can call the station. You can leave a message. They can get a hold of me. I will, in turn, get a hold of Becca, and we'll be happy to get back to you. If you have any other questions unrelated even to my discussion with Becca, remember, I'm an attorney. My purpose in having this show is to answer legal, financial, and social issues involving women. That is the purpose of this show, and I'm happy to say that we're off to a rousing start. We've been on the air for only about 6 weeks. We've had a tremendous response, and we're going to be wrapping up the show now. I want to just have one final word. Becca, there's something called the Church of Perpetual Life of Hollywood. You want to give us a quick 30-second on that?
Yes, everybody who is in South Florida, it's a free event. I'm going to be on a holistic food nutrition panel with Hippocrates, with Scott from, Food Tribe, I think Healthy Food Tribe. And I'd like to invite you guys down there. It's completely free. It's in Hollywood, and it's at 7 o'clock, June 7th, and they're even serving dinner.
Great.
Just tell them my name.
Great, great. Well, Becca, you've been fabulous, okay? And there's not a doubt in my mind that you're coming back, okay? Because we got a lot more to talk about. I have a lot more questions, and I ran out of time. And that's, frankly, one of the reasons I couldn't take even callers in today, because you were just terrific. And
thank you.
Aside from that, you're beautiful to look at. And when a woman has brains and beauty, she's a knockout. Okay,
thank you.
So I really enjoyed having you today.
You're wearing my favorite color.
Really? Well,
yeah, I love purple.
Okay,
you look gorgeous today, too.
Thank you, thank you. All right, well, Mutual Admiration Society. All right, so anyway, I want to thank you for looking in today and listening in for another show of Ask Robert, the Women's Prophet. We look forward to seeing you again next week. We'll have another exciting show. So again, thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And stay fit, stay happy, stay healthy.
Woo!
Be well.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you for listening and watching Ask Robert today. It has been my pleasure sharing with you up-to-date information about the stock market and business, as well as investing, financing, real estate, and other commercial and general subjects. My guests are specifically chosen by me to provide sharp thoughts and ideas on the various subjects affecting the economy in a unique and informative manner. I enjoy answering your calls, and you can reach me at 561-483-2334 or by email at bobseibel, BOBSEIBEL @yahoo.com. Remember, knowledge is power. Dare to be great, because so few people make the effort. This has been Robert Seibel. I look forward to speaking to you again next week. Have a great week.